What is up, guys? How's it going? It is Uncle Bob, and welcome to the channel. Welcome back. We are here for more Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy, the last Mega Man on the original Game Boy. And that means after this, we only have one classic Mega Man left, and that'll be Mega Man 6 for the NES. I know the Game Boy and NES games didn't alternate when they came out, but I've been playing through them as like separate series, but alternating. And yeah, out of those first 11 games, 5 for the NES, or 6 for the NES, 5 for the Game Boy, we're right there. And last time, we managed to beat all of the Robot Masters. Okay. Front and back, and then I think it was these two. Yes, it was. And then bottom, boom, boom, boom. Ease. 1, 2, 3. And right there. Now, T's, we had a bunch. Right? There we go. All right, now we can go back to this stage and we can get that one gem. Oh, how's it going today, everyone? Hopefully everybody is enjoying their Sunday. Definitely got to enjoy the first of my days off. Spent it with both of the kids, just having a good day today. Took them to a friend of mine's house. They used to be our roommates, so, you know, they knew my son when he was young and my daughter when she was, you know, an infant. So, that was nice. Christ almighty, that blast shield of his fucks you up so bad. There's not even any reason that it needs to be able to mess you up that bad. That's obnoxious. Damn. I got played. But yeah, it was nice. And then tomorrow's Monday. The woman is going to be... I'm not going to lie, I was just not in the frame of reference of paying attention. And I started off exactly the same way. Ooh. Bro, why was he not dying? Dude is just the worst. Yeah, so I'm getting the final little idea rumblings up of how I want to approach people for the upcoming project I have going. Where it's legit faster to die and start over. Oh, I just went right past it. No, I want the Chaos Emeralds. I just clearly was not observant enough. But yeah, I just want to think of something to say that's not going to sound like... That's not going to make my goal sound like too big or too stupid. Okay, well, I guess I got my game over that I wanted. Because it's weird to approach somebody with, like, this big, like, political idea that just sounds almost fantastic and just childish. But I think a big reason why the Democrats just underperformed is just they were just not motivated. And I guess especially with a figure like Donald Trump, it's just hard because, at least the way it feels to me, it feels like the right is just so much more easily led. This is the one I needed. Like, these people act like all they really want is just a big old daddy figure. And I know I said this the other day. Got some guts man tech going on here. Ooh. So... Oh, that's really cool. Too bad I don't want to fucking finish this dungeon. Or dungeon. I don't want to finish this level. But yeah, it's just hard because, like, it makes me think of, like, do I want to have, like, ways of approaching people that I want people to, like, copy and mimic? Is there going to be a guideline or, like, a rule of thumb? You know, are there people you're going to want to avoid arguing with? How to approach, you know, people who don't agree? And it sucks because, there's also a lot of people that feel like, how do I put it? Especially like friends I have that are a part of minority groups, like a hard part is not getting them to realize that, like, not all white people are your enemy. It's like they know that's not the case, but it's really hard to look at a lot of demographics and look at the way that voting kind of slots out and not take it, not personally, but not take notice of it. Like, I get where that feeling comes from, but when it comes to, like, voting and when it comes to recruitment, it's got to be, like, the ultimate big tent party. You can't have people feel like they're being chased out of the movement. That is just not helpful or conducive for a political movement. Whether people like it or not, white people are the biggest voting bloc and demographic. You have to appeal to them. And not in a, like, well, here's what's in it for you too, whitey, like, sort of way. Like, it has to be cool. Especially when, let's face it, most Democrats are going to be a bunch of, white people. So it's like there's no reason why you should be, acting weird. All right. Let's see if I can find where I went wrong. Okay, it's not there in the most obvious of places. Okay, now I'm curious. I'm curious if I can leap up there and if that's a thing. All right, that's not it. There we go. Blot his eyes out, baby. Ouch. Well, at least we survived. But, we just need people to be motivated. Especially because we have enough, like, registered Democrats and people who are independents that can be appealed to. That could pretty much overrun anything that the Republicans could ever realistically do. Dude's just chasing me down. You're a fuck. But yeah, like, do I want this group to be one that will, like, actually, like, try and debate people out of positions, try to win over opposition? Is it going to be something that, you know, it's just mainly working on, like, getting, like, friends and shit to, take part in? Most excellent. Alright, well, let's see where the gem here is, because I couldn't find it. Okay, I'm kind of mad, but not really, because it's right where I thought it was. I think one of the last times I was here, I just didn't know how to access it. I don't think I had the... Or maybe I did have the correct thing, and I just didn't think to use it. I don't know why that enemy solution is now to just run into me. That was not his modus operandi before. Hell yeah. That's nice. Gimme. Basically what I wanted. Does it still count? Do I have it? Alright, let's see if I die if it still counts that I got it. Or do I have to beat the stage? That's what it'll... Please, 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 oh please, oh please. Please, oh please, oh please, oh please. I will write down that password. Power generator will reduce the amount of energy your special weapons use by half. Cool, I got this, even though I never use my side weapons. I feel like I've used my side weapons... How many of these can I get? One sec. Alright, yeah, we're just gonna keep these P chips. Hopefully I get a chance to scout out and kind of do a little bit of this final stage and then use all the P chips I got. You have meddled with my plan for the last time. Who's your master, huh? Wow, really? That was it? I feel like that was slightly underwhelming. Spark Chaser. That one actually looks pretty nice. That looks pretty nice indeed. Should have defeated all the star droids. Oh, yeah. No, it can't be, as Wily's ship fucking floats up out of the background. Is he behind this? Listen, I feel like in either timeline, whether it's the Game Boy timeline or the NES timeline, it seems like we were almost about to get like a Pharaoh Man from Mega Man 4 theme tune. This is ass. I hate this. What the fuck? I don't know why those androids look like really angry fish. Damn. Oh. Oh my god, the way you're coming out of the fucking boundaries to hit me is obnoxious. All right. All right, we got this. You for real can't even sneak it in there. That's some bullshit. Oh, stress. Not a bad song that's playing. All right, that's going to be it for the day. But yeah, no, I know what I want to do. It's just kind of the minutia of how I want people to operate. And like I said, like, even something simple as, do I even want to have a name for it? Or do I want to just, tell these people like, hey, listen, this is a project that I'm trying. What I really need to do this week is I need to make a list of, with the plan I want, what states will take how many weeks. That's really going to be the goal. Because, yeah, it's going to be geared towards either talking to people and, especially if they're registered Democrat, being like, hey, I'm with this initiative and we're making sure that come the 2025 election, listen, it's only, every 4 years election, after 2 years mid-election, in between election and midterms and elections are also elections. Obviously, those ones are all going to be local, smaller elections, nothing national. But these are still going to help take shape on where Democrats are going to stand for the midterms. And the only way that I think that's going to happen is even from the local scenes, it has to start turning out. Like, Trump's voters are out there mobilized. The only way to win is to mobilize back. And, these people, and I never got to finish saying this earlier, but, when I talk to a lot of conservatives, they're always focused on, like, I tell them, don't worry, Democrats are coming back, you just watch. And they're like, oh yeah, well, who's going to lead you guys? And it's like, that's their problem, is they don't see a political movement without a leader like that. But it should be a wave of electoral power, a wave of the electorate making their voices known. And, the only way that you're going to do that, especially in an off year, especially with as mobilized as Trump voters are still going to be, it's going to take everything we got. Because, here. All right, so look, 2025 and 2026, like, those ones, like November 4th, November 3rd, and the 27th is going to be the 2nd, and I don't believe elections are ever on the 1st of November, so they would be on the 8th of November. So it'll be the 7th of November in 2028, most likely. But there are elections every year. Every year there's elections. And, ultimately you're going to get the things that you really push and you really fight for, and you're not going to get the things that you don't. And the only way the Democrats are going to come big is by just voting. Like, that's it. And, you look at the election results now, like, popular vote-wise, Donald Trump still won, but it's like, as the results have kept trickling in, until all the votes were coming, Kamala still only got like 3 million less than Donald Trump as far as the popular vote goes. But I mean, it's really not even just a raw number. It's got to be the numbers of people in the right places, which is kind of why my goal is to make everything about, based on what the active, how many people are registered to vote in each state. Like, that's going to be what I go by, because obviously, you know, California and Wyoming are going to have, or like Montana, are going to have two very different numbers of people. So the amount of time it'll take to go through it is going to be similar enough. But yeah, it's going to be about every year. It's going to be about every year. And that's the thing that I'm really trying to get into my head as well, is that, you know, there is no such thing as a utopia. It's, you get what you fight for, and that's it. So every year is a new set of battles, and you're not going to win every year. And that's just going to be the way that it is. But our efforts have to be every year. And, you know, I do see a lot of people on the left-leaning side of things deciding in their own ways how they think it is, how we're best going to move ourselves forward in a way that really attracts as many people as we can. And the numbers are there. It's just about getting people out to vote. It's going to be getting people who are 18 years old registered to vote. You know, for the 2025 elections, my youngest brother is going to be old enough to vote. I'm going to be fucking getting on him, being like, hey, make sure you're registered to vote. You know, election day is November 3rd. It's time, baby. It's get yourself registered to vote. Get ready, because I need you to vote down ticket blue. And if he doesn't know why, I'm going to explain to him why. But see, I'm the kind of person to debate and like argue these things with people. You know, I've spent, at least since I was 18, I'm 34, at least 16 years, almost half of my life, I've spent arguing politics with people online. So like I've spent years, more than a decade and a half, just arguing with people. And sometimes it's meme arguments, and sometimes it's very serious arguments. So like I can convince people, but it's going to be, you know, whether that's going to be something I'm going to expect other people to do, or it's something that, you know, maybe I want people to know how to do, but, you know, I don't know. And I want to have a place that members of this group can kind of mingle. I don't know if that would be like Discord or something. I don't know how all of those other social media sites kind of work. But also, like, how much stock do I want to put into that when a lot of people who are voters are older? So, like, do they really need that sort of thing? I don't know. I don't know how much word of mouth I want it to be, how much social media I want to do on it. It's really going to be about just... It's going to be about just planting the seeds. Because those maps, I want to see those maps blue, baby. I want to see a blue forest take over. I want the blue to be in bloom. And not just in the fucking city areas. Like, I want these ideas to be understood and accepted, you know, further out to the more rural sides of, you know, the states. So... You know, and then you got a state like Oklahoma where every single district and county voted red. And it's like, you know, you see a state like that and it's like, that's going to be a hard one. You know, whoever I find in Oklahoma, you know, I'm going to tell them, Godspeed. And, you know, it is going to be really rough because... You know, there's just so much work that needs to be done at every level. But, you know, the big thing that the Trump administration was focusing on was having people at all levels of government to kind of allow things that the right wing wants to do pass easier, give as little rough roads to everything as possible. They want everything to be smooth sailing. So the only way that we're going to be able to do that is to do the same thing in return. And that starts locally. That starts in 2025. So there's just a lot to think about. It's a lot of the setup to how I want to do things. And unfortunately, I don't have a super long time to think about it. But, I got long enough. I figure by the time the holiday season ends, it's going to be time to start schmoovin'. So I'm going to have to be thinking a lot, especially during, while I work peak season here at UPS. But yeah, it's going to be a lot. But it's got to be a movement that just spreads by people being motivated, that, once a week you can motivate and convince one person in your life to vote for Democrat candidates in whatever level of government we're talking about. So, yeah, that's the challenge. It's just trying to come up with a good plan that is a solid enough foundation that everybody can be set up to succeed. I want everybody who I get interested in this, I want them to be able to understand my plan and just know what to do. Know what's expected of them. Especially because, like I said, it's not going to be like a thing that, I guess I would, just by de facto be the leader, but it's like, I don't want it to be leader like that. Like, that's fucking lame. Like, that's not the kind of thing that I'm looking for it to be. As far as I could tell, I would be, the main source of everything, especially as far as like my state of Illinois goes. But yeah, it is just, it's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of thinking and a lot of just racking my brain over what's the right setup to have. Do I want to have, I don't know. I don't know if maybe the social media thing would be maybe, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I almost want to know whether I'd have it to where it would be like, I don't know. I don't know if I would just, the people that I have, from each state as being, the seed that I plant in each of the states, if it's something where, they answer to me or something like, I don't know. There's just, I don't know what I want it to be. I know the setup and like what I want people to do, but it's just like the actual operation that I'm having a hard time with. But I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out one way or the other, because I really want to do this. This next upcoming project, I think, is something that is not just something that interests me. It's something that I think will benefit the entire country. Because, I'm obviously a liberal. Like, just philosophically, there's just not much in the way of, like, the idea of conservatism that I adhere to. So I think a big thing is, a big thing is just that I just don't agree with a lot of these ideas on like a really core fundamental level. And that's a big part of who I am. So I want people to understand that. And I want people, obviously there's a lot of conservatives that think they're making the world better. And, that's, nobody sits there and like thinks like, yeah, I'm making this world shittier. Like, that's not how people think. That's not how people do things. So it's just about you say like it's weird to say, but it's like you do want to push in a way your way of life onto other people, but you want to do it in a way that like I don't like the idea of lying to people. I don't like the idea of having to be deceitful. You know, I want to convince people that the philosophies and the things that I believe in are right because I think it's the right way to do things. I think the ideas of, you know, tolerance when it comes to, you know, different races, religions, you know, gender identity and all of these other things, I think these are important. But like not just because of like wokeness, but because like I'm an American. Like this is America. If somebody wants to do something, they should be allowed to do it in America because this is America. And a bunch of people from whatever walk of life coming here doesn't change anything of that. You know, the founding documents of our nation are broad enough and encompassing enough that American mindset should be able to coexist with any group of people being a majority, or the, you know, the demographic makeup of this country being whatever it could be. I think American principles stand above that. Like, I think that they are so encompassing that they can wrap in even those, and they're bigger than that. And I think, to me, obviously, that's a good thing. I don't see a use in having a political philosophy that wants to keep people out, you know, over things that you think may economically help, or even worse, people who think that it'll help with the culture because they think that people bringing over their cultures is not good for America, when people bringing their cultures into America is America. Not just like diversity is our strength. Diversity is America. Now, to what extent always depends on what it is. Because, I mean, you know, there's famous letters of, you know, American founders who didn't include, as part of the white race, didn't include, like, the fucking people from Scandinavia and shit. Like, white used to be, like, almost exclusively, like, a, like, British thing. Obviously, there's a few other countries that were included. France, I don't know about Spain. I can't even think of what, I think it might have been the Germanic countries were the only ones that were seen as like really white. I think people from Scandinavia were considered like swarthy or whatever that word meant. But America has always been about, I mean, think about what our original motto is. E pluribus unum. From many, one. And that's the same whether you think about the actual states that make up the federal government, or, to me, the people within it. Of many backgrounds is one nation. And I think that is what makes us special. And to me, that's part of liberalism. I don't see a strength in trying to cut off worldviews from entering the country. You know, yeah, should there be like a bare bone litmus to make sure that, you know, people who are trying to like fucking destroy the planet and shit aren't making it in? Obviously. You know, we don't want people who are trying to do a whole bunch of fucking terrorisms. You know, we don't want them all in the country. But we screen for that. People who enter America, nobody sits there and be like, oh man, getting into America? Piece of cake. Everybody pretty much says getting into America is a pain in the ass. We do our diligence into who comes into this country. And we're fine. We integrate people very well into our country. So, I want these to be the dominant views of society. And the only way to do that is by doing the hard work. And by, you know, just working. Just keeping at it. Every year. It never stops. First Tuesday of November, unless it's November 1st. Obviously, we just said that. But the 2nd through the 8th, whatever that Tuesday is, that's when the work has to be done. And unless people show up, nothing's actually going to really get any better. So, you know, you can see a very little percentage difference in how many votes the candidates got can have a really big effect on the Electoral College. So it can't just be a nationwide thing. It's got to be every state has to work as a unit. So we have to work as a unit. So, yeah, I'll figure out how I want to do things. So, yeah, I'll talk to you all tomorrow. That was a lot of rambling that once we finish playing. Wow, 51 minutes. I talked for like 15, 16 minutes towards the end. Jesus Christ. All right, it's enough. Peace.